Hi guys, welcome to reading class today. Thank you for showing up and logging in. I thought today would be a really good opportunity to show you some examples of some phobia projects and how to use the information to kind of come up with that. So, on the project information sheet that I gave you, we have the two links to good websites. So, for this particular one, I just went to this website and I decided that I wanted to do an example of a phobia that nobody else was going to do. So I chose this one, the fear of peanut butter. We were kind of laughing about it in one of the classes, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. And notice that as you scroll down here, there's pictures, there's all kinds of advertisements and stuff too. It might be easier for you to read through this information if you click on print. Now, my computer wants to automatically go ahead and print. I want to cancel that. What that does is leave me with just the text that would print, and it takes out all of the advertisements. So that might be helpful to you, so you don't get so distracted. I read through the entire thing, okay? Read it start to finish so I can understand what it's saying and what it's about. Remember, close reading. You read the whole thing first. Then you go back through and you try to pull out the parts that you need for your presentation, which is all this stuff right here. Okay? And then I kind of took some notes on it and I used this information here, actually that information there, to come up with my presentation. All right? So first I'm going to show you this presentation so you can kind of see it. So using this information and my notes, I came up with this presentation. And so notice on the front slide that I put what the name of it is and that it is the fear of peanut butter. I could have put more of a description of it, but so this actually ends up being my 7th slide, just so you know. And then I actually put my name on it as well. So make sure you do the same thing, that you have your title of the phobia. Make sure you spell it correctly. I know this is weird. I'm not even sure exactly how I would say it. It's a fear of peanut butter. There you go. And I put a background that kind of goes along with it, and I made sure that my letters really stand out. Okay, this next one, I put the name of this again, and this is where I actually explain what the phobia means. Okay, so it's more than just its fear of peanut butter. It's actually the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth or other sticky foods. So people have a fear of that. This also includes a fear of choking on those items. Okay, so that's really where the fear comes from. But notice that, I explain a little bit more about what this phobia is. Okay, symptoms. This is where you put on there what happens to people who have this particular phobia. Now, you're going to need to be very careful because a lot of the information that you look at will say symptoms of phobias in general. You want to make sure that what you put on this slide includes information that is specific to your topic. So it has to be about your phobia. So this one would be people are afraid to eat peanut butter, even small amounts. They could even fear any foods with peanut butter or peanut butter flavors, such as ice cream. They can also fear peanut sauce, or they would be afraid to eat anything that's the same texture as peanut butter. So when somebody gets to the point that they won't even eat flavors or peanut sauce or anything, then they have moved into a phobia range. If their fear is from allergies, they could have an allergic reaction, which would include these symptoms. So I went a little bit beyond what was already on there. I looked at peanut allergy things. Okay, why do people develop this fear? What can cause it? Well, these were the things that they were talked about in the article. Maybe somebody had an allergic reaction to peanut butter. So now they're really afraid of anything that has anything to do with peanut butter. Maybe they actually choked on something, not necessarily on peanut butter. And choking can cause people to be afraid of stuff. Or they watch someone have an allergic reaction to peanut butter or choking on a peanut butter sandwich. Or maybe something happened in a TV show or a movie with peanut butter, maybe an allergic reaction to peanut butter or something like that. True story, my daughter actually developed a severe fear of bees. I'm not sure it's a phobia necessarily, but a fear of bees from watching a movie where a girl died after having an allergic reaction to bees. So that's a real thing. So this kind of gives you an idea of how people can develop this particular phobia. Okay, how common is it? How often do they see this happen? Well, sometimes you might have information about that particular phobia and how common it is among people. I saw in a couple of articles where they actually gave a percentage of the population that has this particular fear. I didn't have that for this one, but the information that I read did say that choking is common. And they actually talked about a study from New Jersey that said that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were the leading cause of most choking incidents. So that kind of lets you know how common this particular phobia is. How might a person be affected? This is the part where how might it affect their lives? How might it affect the things that they do? So clearly they're going to avoid all foods with peanut butter. They might avoid foods with nuts in general or touching any kind of peanuts. Oops, sorry. They might avoid places that serve peanut butter, cafeterias and stuff. Children might not want to go to daycare or school because they might be afraid of coming in contact with peanut butter. They might not want to sit with your friends who eat peanut butter because they don't want to be that close to it. Sometimes kids might cry or pretend to be sick to avoid being in situations where they'll be around peanut butter. Or young kids will actually throw fits when they're around this kind of stuff that scares them. Okay, treatment. This is what can they do to help someone who has this particular phobia. And it actually said in the article that it all depends on how they developed their phobia. So if it was an allergic reaction, basically you just teach the person safety precautions, how to safely avoid peanut butter and make sure that the responses are controlled, that they're not like freaking out when they see peanut butter, but giving them tools on, okay, what's the first thing you do if you come in contact with peanut butter? If they don't have an allergy, then the article suggests they use cognitive behavior therapy. Well, I don't know what that is, so I looked up cognitive behavior therapy. And this means that they would teach the person through a series of steps that their reaction to peanut butter or other sticky foods is not appropriate. All right, so you need to do the same thing. If you come across things you don't understand, look them up. A person could be exposed to small amounts of peanut butter in a safe place and maybe have a conversation with the peanut butter sitting there and then realize that, hey, when peanut butter's close by, it's not going to hurt me. Okay, so these are all things that I got from reading the article and putting things together about phobias. My last slide I have here says source, and basically I just copied and pasted the, there you go, copied and pasted the website address, even though it says that it's not found. But I copied it right from the right from the address. I swear I did. Okay. So anyway, that's one way that you can present. I think that's probably the most common is to do the slides. Here are some other possibilities you could do. Here is a poster that someone made. And again, you can add in graphics. If you know how to use any kind of a drawing tool or anything, you could put together some kind of a poster using Google Docs. Or if you change the size of your slide, if you know how to do that, you can create an electronic poster. Here's another example where they've actually copied some pictures and put it together in a way. So this was actually done on a computer. So these just show some things that might happen. And you can you can arrange this however you want if you want to have a small picture to go with each thing. This is from previous years when we actually were able to do posters. Unfortunately, we can't do that this year. This is actually a program that you can find where you can put together what is this called? A comic strip. And I've seen this before. I haven't used it myself, but if you have used it before and you're comfortable with it and you want to put together a comic strip where you're kind of presenting the phobia, you just need to make sure that you are covering all of the parts. So you want to make sure that you have a definition of it. What does it look like? How's it going to affect somebody? What are some ways to address it, that kind of thing. This doesn't necessarily cover everything, but it does show you an example. Here's an example of a poem that someone wrote about a social phobia. And it's easier to write these poems, I think, if you have the particular phobia, because you can use your own experiences in it. So again, you would have to use your own words. You do not copy somebody else's work. So if you feel that you can write a poem about it, and this person added some pictures around it, as long as you cover everything. Again, so if you write your poem and it doesn't cover absolutely everything, then maybe you have a little paragraph that you write with it that includes the parts that you weren't able to cover in your poem. Okay, and then there's the slideshow. So hopefully that helps you guys. I hope you can learn some stuff from doing your phobia project and have some fun with it. If you have any questions at all while you're working on your project, please send me a message through your inbox in Canvas, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will have my computer with me. If you want to ask me tomorrow in class, you can do that too. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon on Zoom.